Alrighty, hey yo, what is up, Knights? Aegis Freak here, back with some more DFO PvE on my Elven Knight. Now in this video, guys, we're going to be doing a complete playthrough of a place called the Forgotten Lands, which can be accessed here by Joa Ferrero. Now I want to mention before that there is a feature of this game that if you use 100 FP on a character, you're given an extra Joa Ferrero ticket. And that means that you can enter the Forgotten Lands 2 times a day. I've already entered 1 time just to show that we have used our FP entry count. But if we want to go again, we have to use the Joa Ferrero ticket that they give us, which looks like this. So there we get an extra entry, and so, you know, you can technically enter 2 times a day. Don't have any reason for why you'd probably want to do that, because Forgotten Lands really is just a forgotten area, man. Everybody's forgotten about Forgotten Lands. But I want to make this video just because I haven't before, and we're going to be doing a complete playthrough of the Forgotten Lands as I, on the way, try to explain what the Forgotten Lands is all about and why you might want to do it. So anyway, starting out, guys, and I'm going to be taking the most optimal route that I know of that has, it's like a 100% route. It's like has all the chests and everything that you could get from this dungeon. But anyway, without using any items. This dungeon is an open kind of like persistent dungeon, I like to call it, as we go find this mermaid here. It's a persistent dungeon that has kind of like an alternate or main primary goal, but the main thing is it's just a 30-minute dungeon. The enemies here are persistent, meaning that once you kill them, they'll respawn after a little while, and so every enemy in the map, you know, you can use to farm up EXP if you wanted to. It's not very much, I'll be honest with you, but you know, you can get a little bit of EXP by farming off of those enemies. But the main objective of this dungeon is the top left indicates how many bosses that we've killed, and we're actually en route to killing the first boss. But it's basically, you kill 5 bosses, and then it will open up the final boss, which is the main purpose of this dungeon. So it's a persistent dungeon that also has like a primary gimmick right now. So we just killed the first boss right there, which is this octopus guy. We just took the fastest route. Now every boss has a chance of dropping a gold chest when you killed them. The gold chest can be opened up with 5 keys instead of just the normal 1 from the silver chest, and we do have 5 keys currently with all of the mini bosses that we kill. So we can get keys just by killing mini bosses, the green name mobs, which hopefully I'll be showing off most of where all those guys are spawning as well. But you can open up the gold chest from the bosses, and then finally all of the regular chests as well, as this guy gives us a couple keys as well. You can open up these with 1 key, and our keys are again at the top right of the screen. Other things that are showing on the UI that I kind of want to explain. Right there, you might have seen the message that said it is now nighttime. So there is a day and night system in this dungeon. And during the day, it's kind of normal, right? But at night, you have 1 extra gimmick that you had to deal with, which shows up on the minimap as an exclamation point. And his name is the Chaser. And here is where the Chaser is. He does, obviously, his namesake. He chases you across the map during the nighttime. And he is very hard to kill if you're not hella geared like my knight is. So we're gonna make it short work of this guy. Like, is he even gonna pose a problem for us? Nah, he's pretty much dead. So when we do kill him, we do get a massive amount of keys. I'm not sure how many it is exactly, but maybe 10 or so keys. So if you're strong enough to kill him and get the keys to make this run easier, and then you don't have to deal with him for the rest of the night. He will respawn once the next day comes around though. So I just want to mention that. We're gonna make this detour over here just because there is I guess a silver chest if you want to pick up all the chests. There's 1 over here. And so yeah, there's a day and night system. Really the only difference, there is a little bit of difference between night and day with the enemy types in the different regions. And you can see right here the enemies, the regular enemies are dropping topaz crystals. And you'll notice as we progress through this dungeon, and we get further along, we're going to enter different areas. This area right now is the first one, so it's obviously dropping the topaz crystals, which are the first type of crystals, is something I'll explain. The crystals are used for the NPC outside of the dungeon, kind of like, you know, like the reward NPC, and here's a green name mob, which once killed will give us a key. So there you go. So that was the first area right there, Deathly Harbor, and now we're making our way to the second area, which is the Forest of Disorder, which again has another boss, or actually it has 2 bosses, so I'll mention about this area. And then the enemies here will drop the second grade of crystals, the red one, which I believe is the ruby crystals, and all enemies have a chance of dropping that. So, but we do want to kill this green guy here because he's going to drop a transformation potion, which we do not have any slots to pick that up, so I'm going to drop one of these pills. Transformation potion, we need that. The enemy always spawns there, so if you want that transformation potion, you can grab that, and we're going to make our way down to the bottom left screen. We kill enemies along the way, just free EXP. Now I have mentioned I'm max level, so obviously I'm not getting any EXP off of this, but this dungeon does give EXP. It's kind of like a persistent dungeon that you can use to farm. It's not very efficient since there is no dungeon clearance EXP, but there is mob kill EXP. So if you like are on the fringe of leveling up, if you need like 2% more to level up, this is not a bad place to do it. So anyway, you need a disguise to talk to the NPC so you can get into this bonus area. I guess not really a bonus area since you need to do it. And we're gonna fight one of 2 bosses in this region. Now, for the sake of completing the whole dungeon, excuse me, as we get our fever time here. For the sake of just doing the goal of this dungeon, you can see once we kill that enemy right there, he will show up on the top left as being killed. There are 2 bosses for this region, as I mentioned, though. So if you want, you can also kill the alternate boss. Just I guess as a bonus, you can kill him as well, which will give you another chance at a golden chest. It's not necessary though. So for the main purpose of this area, it's not necessary to kill both bosses, just one of the 2. But I'll show you guys how to do that. I believe there's a chest over here, so we're gonna go ahead and open that. And you guys see, we actually have fever right now. I forgot to mention it when I picked it up, but we have a massive move speed, massive cooldown. Everything's quick. We are just fast as shit right now, and our damage is massive too. So this happens just as the bar underneath the day and night system is kind of like a fever system. And right there, this blue goblin right here is the one who's going to be dropping us the next potion that we need, which I do not have any slots in my inventory. Probably should have prepared this better, but there's another transformation potion we're going to need. And we already had one in our inventory, so I guess that was unnecessary for me to try to pick that one up. But that's the NPC that has it. He always drops it again, so we need that potion for this next area, which is at the top left instead of this area. So yet another mini boss, and it is night again, so I should mention that the chaser is back up. So if you want to farm on the chaser again, there you go. Here is the goblin transformation potion, which there you go. He wouldn't let me in before, and now he'll let me in to kind of face the boss here. So this is the only time you're going to need any sort of items for the Forgotten Lands, but you're going to need at least one of those transformation potions if you want to kill the 5 bosses. Again, like I said, this is completely optional to kill the second boss. You only need to kill one of the 2. But, you know, if you're trying to do this 100%, there you go. The bosses and mini-bosses always have a chance of dropping the highest grade of crystals, that being the metastatic crystals, which are, you know, at the top right here. Is the last one that you can get. But if you're just farming for the crystal pieces themselves, all of the enemies in here in this region are going to drop the next grade of crystals, those being the ruby crystals. So just throwing that out there. If you're trying to farm a specific type of crystal, they're going to be dropping in different areas of the map, and we'll go through here systematically. The next one will be the white crystals and all that, so you kind of get a feeling for how it works. So but yeah, that is actually all the rooms that have like chests and bonus bosses in this region. We're gonna go ahead and make our way to the White Snowflake Mountains, and we're actually gonna be fighting the chaser again. You can see the chaser was on the mini map here. Where's the chaser? He's just gone. Did he bug out? I think the chaser just bugged out. Look, where is he? He just didn't show up. Usually. That has never happened to me before. That's kind of odd. But yeah, usually, you know, you get into another chaser fight, it's the same deal, just kill him again, and no biggie there. Now we're going to be going into the 3rd region of the game, that's White Snowflake Mountain. Now all the enemies here drop the 3rd grade of crystal, unless it's a mini boss, which has a chance of dropping the metastatic. And again, here's a chest on this area. And there's extra bonus, you know, there's the main boss as well. But there's an extra bonus boss that I'll show off once we get once we get to the area. There's a lot of bonus chests in this region, so there's a bonus chest in this bottom right room, for instance. And a mini boss to open it if you don't have any keys. And there you go. And he drops the quartz crystal, which is a white one. So you can see it does get progressively harder. Now, the reason that the regions are kind of separated by like this is because they're actually separated by level, and it's hard for me to demonstrate that because I'm max level. All of the enemies are obviously going to be scaling to whatever level I am, which is level 86. However, if you're lower than the max level, these level regions do have minimum level requirements. I wouldn't say requirements, just like the enemies in that region are going to be that minimum level every time, as we actually ran out of mana. That's something I did not expect, but Go be killing this boss now. And he did drop a chest. So like I said, all of the main bosses have a chance of dropping a gold chest. So this guy actually dropped one for us and got obviously more items. Now I took 5 keys instead of the normal one. We're gonna actually go into this left room. There's no chest in here as far as I know, but there is a fireplace. Oh, actually there is one chest. What am I talking about? There is a fireplace. Now, don't need it actually for my sake, but I'll just mention, if you need a fire enchantment on your weapon and you don't have it already, step on the fire and you're going to be giving a fire enchantment buff. We're going to need that for one of the extra runes in this region, so I just went in there to show you where it is. There is an extra mini-boss though, and he's going to show up if you look very closely at the coloration of these little ice mounds. One of them is going to be kind of dull color. That's going to actually be the location of where our extra boss is, and we're going to fall into this region here, and this kind of ice coon guy is gonna be our extra boss. So he doesn't show up on the top left, but he is a main boss type monster, meaning that when you kill him, he has a chance of dropping a golden chest. So that's where the location is, and again, you know, we're gonna 100% this. So sometimes this portal doesn't like teleporting you. You gotta be a little patient there, and you're gonna end up at the top right here. So if I didn't step in here immediately, but there are 2 chests in this region, so. And we still should have our fire damage buff. Now, it is night again, so the chaser is back. And this time, hopefully, it doesn't bug out. Like, I have no idea. I've never seen that happen before. But we're going to make our way down here, because I think in the room that the chaser is in, I'm just going to take on the chaser. No, he's like running away. This right here requires that you have a fire damage weapon to break it. And again, like I said, if you don't have fire damage, you can just get the fire damage buff from the campfire, and that should be that. Now, the chaser is not even chasing me. He's running away from me. He's scared, man. Chaser's scared. He doesn't want to get wrecked, so that's very odd. Odd behavior from the chaser right there. But if you go into this extra region using the fire damage buff, you can get 3 extra chests, which is always great. Now, I haven't really mentioned why the chests are so important. There are some equipment, namely some necklaces, for instance, which only drop in this region. You have to get them from chests. And the chests, obviously, there's a lot of them, but the drop rate is pretty rare. Aside from that, and here finally the chaser's like, okay, I'll fight you just to get fucking wrecked, Rick. And he does cause a massive bleeding to you. Now, I actually want to check my items real quick just to look if I have one, and I do. If you're not strong enough to kill the chaser, and you know, or you didn't outmaneuver him on the minimap, there is a way to get rid of him. You can either wait for day, wait for him to kill you, or use this indulgence item, which will instantly remove the chaser from wherever you're encountered with him. So I could have just waited for daytime and he would have left either way, but you can use that indulgence item to kind of get rid of the chaser. It won't give you any keys, obviously, for killing him, but it will just stop him from wasting your time. I do believe he also leaves once he kills you as well, so you know, you can also just let him kill you, which you can use resurrections here, no problem. So there's that. Now, the main gimmick of this next region, which is the Vanish village, which again is the next level range of enemies, is going to be this code right here. Now, the code could spawn in 3 different locations, and I'm going to go to all 3 of them right now just to show them. It could spawn in this room, which it hasn't. We're going to be looking on the walls because the code is written on a wall next to some dead guy. So it could be in that room. It could be in this room, and it seems like it is. 459 is our code this time around. So there's also a mini boss there. So if you're trying to get keys and stuff, make sure you know, don't squander those mini bosses, so you can just have all the keys ready. But the last room it can possibly be in, by the way, guys, is here. So that's why I kind of went over here. It's those 3. It has to be in one of those 3 rooms. It's going to be in there. So, but once you have the code, which in our case 459, we type in the code via these little rotation things here. These little wheels. 4, 5, and 9. Now, depending on which side you attack it from is also where it increments and decrements. So, right side it increments, left side it decrements. So, just a faster way to input those. And there was the boss, and he did not actually give us a chest. But you can see at the top left, it is accruing or keeping track of which ones we've killed. Now, this is an important area. Right here, it's obviously a secret, I guess you could say a secret area, which has 4 chests in it. But the important thing here is Dr. Herbert here, which is an NPC which has a lot of various items in it, which you can use your metastatic crystals to to kind of trade with him. You can buy elemental potions for elemental damage. You can buy an indulgence, which again is the item I showed you to get rid of the chaser if he's here. But most importantly is the crystal exchange. He's the only character in the game who kind of uses this crystal exchange. You basically, you know, we've been going in chronological order here: topaz, ruby, and quartz. They're getting increasingly more important. You can trade 3 to 1 to the next grade. So, you know, it takes you 3 topaz to make 1 ruby, or 3 rubies to make 1 quartz. And you can kind of do that to keep increasing the grade of your crystal. This is obviously not very important here when we get in, when we're actually in the dungeon, but outside of the dungeon, if you want any of the prizes sold by Noah, or Joa Ferreira, sorry, he is going to be, you know, you're probably going to want to upgrade your crystals to the next grade, the highest grade, and this region drops the onyx crystals, which are the black one. Now we're finally reaching the last area of the game, level 80 or higher it says, and so we gotta, apparently we gotta follow this NPC. We actually don't have to follow this NPC at all. We can actually go our own path. She's gonna be there. I have no idea why it's like this, but we're just gonna go into this middle room because that actually has a chest in it, and so there you go. Now you can kind of see some of the items that I'm picking up are like pills, as we make our way straight to the top left room here, which very simple gimmick. All you gotta do is kill this boss here, and she opens up the region to the final area of the game, or I guess of this little region here, Forgotten Lands, the Golden Altar, which again also has a level cap of 80. I keep saying level cap. It's not a level cap. It just means that the minimum level that these enemies can be at is 80. So if you come in here with any, you know, a low level character, your level 30 character, you're gonna be fighting you, and you go to this region. It'll let you come here, but you're gonna be fighting against level 80 guys minimum. So, you know, it's obviously recommended that you stick with whatever region you're in, just so you don't get wrecked by the enemies in here. So you can see 6 mini bosses here, tons of keys if you don't have enough keys as is. 1 final chest here, as well as 2, I think, in this room, as we fight the final boss here, guys. And that should be all of the chests and all of the keys. As I'm wondering why I'm not doing a lot of damage, guys. It's because my weapon is broken. My weapon is straight up broken. So that's good, actually. That's good. And we kill that enemy, and we finally killed all 5 bosses, meaning that we open up the region to the final boss of the game. Now, I haven't really explained exactly the other items that you can get from the chest. One of the main reasons I actually enjoy, well, I don't enjoy doing it, but I like doing the Forgotten Lands is that you get this item right here, which is why I went in here without my weapon durability up. It's because it costs a lot to repair this in town. It would cost me a couple $100,000. If you have a repair coupon, though, you can use that inside the Forgotten Lands. And so basically, this is a way to ensure that you can get free repairs without having to pay for it out of town. So if you have a lot of these stocked up, you can actually, when your weapon starts breaking, and you're probably not going to do the Forgotten Lands anyway, just have some of those repair tickets and you can do it for free. So anyway, guys, this is the final boss of the Forgotten Lands. Really fucking easy. He has a chance of dropping, obviously, excuse me, it lets me leave. It has a chance of dropping a whole bracelet here, or accessory, exclusive Forgotten Lands accessory. But most of the time it's going to be dropping you pieces of the accessories, which you can craft outside of the dungeon. We're going to look at that right now. Now, like I said, guys, that was the main objective of the Forgotten Lands. However, we still, you know, this is based on a time limit thing. We can still loiter around this region and keep killing enemies at free will if we cared about the EXP, if we were trying to farm some metastatic crystals or whatever we're trying to farm. If we needed time to get the rest of the chests that we didn't pick up, here's some, you know, metastatic crystals right here. You know, you do that here. You can just spend the rest of the time killing these enemies, and it's just free kill. And you know, we can kill the chaser again if we wanted to. You know, it's just, you have freedom to do whatever now. But we have completed the main objective of the Forgotten Lands, and that's the main reason. And like I mentioned before, guys, the main reason I like the Forgotten Lands is because of this repair coupon. Because I guarantee you it would cost me more than 200-something thousand. What you can do, actually, if you don't want to do the Forgotten Lands at all, you can just load into the first map, use the repair coupons, and just leave, since you get a free entry every day, and you even get 2, actually, based on if you have used 100 FP or not, like I mentioned at the start. But, anyway, guys, there's our reward at the end. We didn't get any EXP, obviously, but you do actually get EXP for being while you're leveling up, so that's something of note. But guys, that is the Forgotten Lands. That's what you got to do in there. Now there are 2 actual NPCs here that you can use your metastatic crystals that were in dungeon for. One of them obviously is for reinforcers up to level 69. So if you have low level equipment, you can use these single-use reinforcers, these Raziers, which only cost 2 crystals, which is pretty nice. Here are some extremely lackluster sub-equipments and magic stones and stuff. Extremely lackluster nowadays since there's so much better stuff, but if you wanted to farm these for whatever reason, you can do that. And here is pieces of the accessories that we actually got a single piece of today. Oblivious bracelet, we can use those to, if we got 3 of those pieces, to craft some utterly garbage accessories. So again, no real point for doing this to completion. From this NPC. In this box, there's also, I would say, probably the most useful stuff in here is some EXP capsules, which do indeed stack with the other EXP potions that you get maybe from mileage or something. If you use this EXP potion, growth potion, and then you combined it with this potion, you actually do get the benefits of both of them. And this actually gives you 100% clearance reward 5 times. And so this is kind of how people are leveling very quickly, is that they use their metastatic crystals to buy these potions and you know, use them up for 5 dungeons and get exceptional EXP. Again, you can do the same thing for this tradable potion, which is the same deal, except it costs 3 times as much because it's account bound. So you can use it on, I can buy it on this character, then give it to my alt. This one's untradeable. So, anyway guys, that is the Forgotten Lands. I think I've explained every possible thing about the Forgotten Lands and why I personally like doing it on characters that I consider characters I play a lot, because it can save you a lot of money with the repair coupons. I'm telling you, these things are invaluable, and these items as well are pretty useful that you get from the chests as well and from the bosses. You can get some invitations which have demon invites. This is kind of minor stuff at this point. You know, that gave me quite a few demon invites and stuff. And just pretty useful thing. If you're trying to speedrun here, you can use some of the pills. I don't really care about that. But yeah, a lot of, I guess, useful kind of stuff. One final thing I'll mention is that those bosses, the pink named mobs, all of the ones that I showed in the video, are considered bosses. So if there's an event going on or something that requires you to kill optimal level bosses for drops or something, that is a good place to farm them. There used to be a hell event where you know, the bosses of optimal level dungeons were dropping demon invite pouches or orbs. You can get them from there as well, so it's something I should mention right there. Next level tips as to another reason why you might want to do Forgotten Lands. But aside from that, guys, I think I've explained everything you need to know about Forgotten Lands and the optimal route to clearing it. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you knights
later.